Next, we have Danny Panzella.
Hello, my name is Danny Panzella, and I am a libertarian. I just want to give a little bit of background about myself. Born and raised on Staten Island. I lived for most of my life in Westerly. Now I live in Manor Heights. I went to school at PS 29 and Susan Wagner. I got my film degree from the College of Staten Island. And for the last 10 years, I've been a real estate broker. So I know what it is to be a small business owner. I know we probably have a lot of small business owners in the audience that are feeling the pinch of the economy. I want to talk a little bit about party politics. A lot of people, a lot of opposition that I've been getting saying that third parties are not viable, they can't win elections, and that you need to get into the two parties because they control the system. But I think there's a problem with that logic. The two parties have really not gotten us anywhere. They've gotten us at a stalemate. And I think that we are starting to see, as time goes on, that both parties look a lot like each other. They are both, and I'm going to be pretty bold and say this, I might offend some people, I believe both parties are corporately controlled. We have a big problem that has been exposed over the last 3 or 4 years. This corporatist economy that masquerades as capitalism. And I think it's painfully obvious that both parties are not giving us real solutions. They are just enabling the corporations to consolidate more and more power and control to themselves. So my solution, well, it's really not my solution, it's the founding fathers' solution, is smaller government. If the government is small and does not have authority over the lives of sovereign people, then the corporations can't buy off those politicians to control it. And this is the very spirit in which the Constitution was written, was to protect us from the corporate interests that the founding fathers knew were going to be coming from Britain and Europe to try and take back control of a newly independent country. And we've gotten so far away from that now. I mean, it's obvious. If anybody watched the debates last night, the gubernatorial debates, I think the fact that we had so many independent candidates up on that stage was very encouraging to me. That people are finally starting to realize that the two-party dictatorship is really not doing anything for anybody but the big corporations and the monopoly control systems. And a lot of these bills that have been passed, I'm going to say it, the health care bill, the financial reform bill, the Dodd bill, these bills, if you read them, if you take them in context, and you really look at what these bills are going to do, it is going to squeeze the small and middle-sized business owners till there's nothing left. They go bankrupt, and all the market share then goes up to the top corporations. And that is what's going to happen in our medical system. Talk to doctors. They have a hard time making money off of Medicaid and Medicare and staying open, that they have to overcharge their other customers just to make up that difference. Well, that's the direction that we're going. The financial reform bill? The financial reform bill gives the Federal Reserve Bank the power to regulate basically the whole economy. Well, that's like giving the fox the keys to the henhouse. That doesn't make any sense. How does that affect the state legislature? Well, it's the same in the state legislature. I do not owe anyone anything. I'm running as an independent. I'm self-funding my campaign. I do not have any major contributors. I don't owe Sheldon Silver or any other party leader a thing. So I can make truly independent decisions that are good for the people of Staten Island and for my district without worrying about it. And I think that that is probably one of the most important things that I can bring to the table. The fact that I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I know what it's like. I have a wife and a child on the way. So I have a vested interest not only in our community, but in our future of the country. So I hope that you'll take a look at my platform. I think that a lot of my solutions are very common sense. Again, I am for the smallest amount of government that we can have, because I believe that you, the people, know how to best spend your money. And I guess... Oh, it's the 63rd Mid-Island District. So I guess if anybody has any questions.
Libertarian Party?
What is the Libertarian Party? Well, I guess Dave summed it up pretty well, I think, before. Basically, stay out of my life. I don't want the government in my life. I know I work hard for my money. I know how to spend my money. I don't want the government telling me where I should spend it, on what. Stay out of my bedroom. You know, Diane mentioned before the divorce. I think that's a great thing, the no-fault divorce. I think that we have a system that's controlled by lawyers. What percentage of the legislature are lawyers? I think it's something like 70 to 80%. So you've got, well, I apologize to all the lawyers in the room, but it perpetuates a system that the lawyers, there's an elite corporate political class that profits off this system. So this is why the Democrats and the Republicans don't really want to change anything. And I'm not saying every Democrat. Obviously, we have independent thinkers within the Democratic and Republican Party, but they're still subject to their party leadership and that control. So, what is a libertarian? An independent. Stay out of my life.
However, what do we actually do to improve the situation? Unemployment, economic development, transportation, education, all these issues. I don't know anything about that.
Okay. Good point. Okay, well, as far as education, I'm with Dave. I think charter schools, I'm for education choice. I want charter schools. I want as many choices as possible. My wife is 5 months pregnant, so I'm going to have to start thinking about these things now. I want the most amount of choice that I can. At this point, it looks like I want to homeschool than send my kid to any of the school choices I have now. I think that the education system is terrible. And as far as the economy, thank you. As far as the economy, I think it's, again, I want to put money back in the hands of my constituents, back in the hands of the people that know how to spend the money best. You know where you want to invest your money in your business, how you can create more jobs. I'll tell you this, the MTA tax, the soda tax, the salt tax, all these taxes are not helping you create jobs. They're taking money away from you and keep you from hiring somebody else. So those are certainly things that I would work against, is Orwellian taxation. Transportation, we need to break up the MTA monopoly. I don't think there's anybody that could argue that point. That is a monopoly, a private-public partnership. Let's call that what it is. It's fascism. And it's corporate control of something that should not be. So we need to break up that monopoly. And whether it's privatized or the government runs it, it's got to be one or the other. It can't be both.
One more question. Also, Annie's running for the State Assembly. I'm not sure if everybody heard that, for the 16th Assembly District. One more question, and then we'll have the next.
I just don't understand. I do have a hard time understanding your comment about keeping government out of our lives.
Okay.
Because my own background, my own family background, I was in public housing. My cousins were on public assistance. I went to the State University of New York, Albany. My whole life has been a result of a government I'm very proud of. The United States of America, to me, where's government in the world, was always there for its people in my life.
Is there a question?
Yeah, I don't understand it. You say keep government out. It's government that made this country great, made my family great. How can you say keep government out? I don't understand.
Yeah. Very briefly, I think that this is a country that's supposed to be for and by the people, and I think that when the government has so much power to give us whatever we want, it can also take everything. So for the government to give you housing and to give you all these things, it had to take it from somebody else, and I don't think that's fair.
All right. Thank you, Ken.